the scenes. So she's very attentive, and her ears are upright and focused. And now she's back to eating because she realizes that there's folks coming towards her and children, and she knows what that means, that behind the scenes is returning. But again, she's looking, and of course, I can't take a picture because I'm doing this. Deb has just filled the large feeder, too, so she'll head over to that. And she always digs out what she wants, eats it, and then leaves the rest. And Tasha may come down later and eat. I haven't seen Tasha all day, and she could be currently just resting in the forest part of the enclosure. We did 2 walk-arounds and didn't find her. Or perhaps she is in a den. We do know that she's been working on the tree that was by the bunker den, has been moved, and she may be in there, but I just can't guarantee where because we haven't seen her either go in or emerge from it. It's quite a small opening, and as most of you know, Tasha is a little larger than Holly, and so it's going to be interesting to see if she became an amoeba and kind of shape-shifted herself into that den. But also there's a couple of very large boulders in the bottom of that den, and I'm just not sure she can fit in there. But bears do remarkable things, and we'll see if she just happened to pull it off to get herself in there. But let's go back to Holly. Holly went into the dug den, the first den when we posted the picture, the dug den that she used last year. She went in 3 days ago, and I thought for sure she was done for the season, but I guess not. The weather in the next week or so is supposed to be very warm, in the mid-60s to almost 70, with nighttime lows dropping in the 40s. So it's not conducive really for the bears here to really go into hibernation. But last year it was a little different because Holly went in on September 17th. It was warm, plenty of sunshine, but she still didn't come back out of her den. So, and unless folks on camera saw her, we never saw her again until April. So it's a surprise to see her, but it's a nice surprise because it makes us start her. So for casting your ballots that she would den in September, you might still be correct, but I don't know. I haven't seen Tasha yet today, so if we see her with dirt on her face and nose and paws, then we absolutely know that she's been working on a den. We also know that she has been sitting near the rock den, which is where she denned last year, but not until December. So perhaps there's an opportunity that she still might use that. And it's very spacious, and of course she'll be sharing her space with the woodchucks, but I believe the woodchucks are probably in a different area than that right now. I want to say again, congratulations to our 24-year-old Ted. He celebrated his 1-year anniversary of retirement yesterday, and it was quite nice to give him his bag treats last night. And he dove right into them. So you'll see the pictures, I'm sure, later, unless they posted some last night. He did leave his watermelon, which was quite a shock, but they were the small ones, as did Tasha. I actually tasted the watermelon to make sure it was good, and it was. So obviously they just didn't want such a small piece. So we did remove it from his den this morning. And those of you watching this morning also noticed that Ted has used a large rock for his head, and most folks that have seen him today just think it's pretty cute and actually pretty funny how animals will use items that they use that we would not use for a pillow, but it becomes part of their natural environment and something that they do use. So such as the logs and the trees that are in the pond, Lucky often uses them to float around on. And although Ted doesn't care for them being in the situated as they are now, he does go in if they're not around the shoreline. I'm not sure why that is, but Ted prefers the smaller pond or the overflow area. Lucky has been cleaning his den. In fact, his den, the bunker ground is so clean, it looks like professionals went in there and raked it up. He is using all the matter for his den bed, and pretty soon at 2 o'clock, so 2 o'clock bear time and 3 o'clock bear time, we will be giving him a portion of straw so that he can rake that into his bed. My current goal is the next couple of Sundays to give him more straw so that we can kind of stretch it out. Our guests here very much enjoy seeing a bear, how they not only gather materials but collect them, but rake them into their dens to provide a very nice and soft bedding for themselves. He's already taken in, he moved, and I know that you folks online saw him doing it, raked in the balsam fir branches, and the cedar branches that we had given him last week. He originally put them in the large bunker, and then he removed them and just dragged them all over to the small bunker. I was pretty sure that he was going to use the small bunker, and then when he put it all in the large one, I thought, well, maybe he's making Holly's den for her. But that wasn't so, and he has gathered it now for himself. So I want to thank everyone that wished Ted his best with his celebration of his first anniversary. And thank you all for tuning in today and enjoying Holly, who has been in den for 3 days and has come out to join us. And I'm very surprised about that. But, you know, these bears are just typically always a surprise. You never know what they're going to do. So she is still looking for treats on the ground, and she'll find them because we put out about 3 pounds. So she'll gather that up, and everything that a bear is eating right now, of course, turns into a usable fat. And they apply that to the 3 or 4 inches of fat. With Ted, it's a little bit more, so that they can go into a healthy hibernation and come out at a very nice weight. Last year, our bears didn't lose too much weight, even though it was kind of a colder winter. So she's currently smelling the air, and you can see her beautiful coat. It's kind of parted down the middle, and you can see that there's actually kind of 2 layers. That brown kind of dirty look is the under fur, and then the gorgeous, the shinier coat is, of course, the guard hairs. And she's on the scale if anybody wants to get a weight on inside of her. So she weighed 341 just a few days ago, so we'll see if she has lost any weight over the 3 days. But she's just a gorgeous example of an 8-year-old female that is absolutely the matriarch here. Well, Spencer just came up and said Holly currently weighs 330 pounds. So if you last year going into den, she weighed 317. So she's still over what she went in for last year. So she will hibernate at a nice weight, and plus she's eating some good stuff right now. But I want to thank everyone for tuning in today, and tune in with us tomorrow. We're probably have, maybe Scott will be on tomorrow, but I know Spencer and I will be here, as will our 2 wonderful interns, Natasha and Cassandra. So I want to thank everyone, and the folks that are here. If you have not visited the Wolf Center, it's worth a trip across town. They have a 4-month-old pup, and she has joined the pack, and she's just a beautiful example of a young wolf. Her name is Rika, and she just will melt your heart when you see her. So they are located just across town. If you're not able to come here and would like to see our bears again, just go to bear.org and click on live cameras, and you'll be able to see the bears that Ted's camera is on 24 hours a day. And you usually pick up little images in the other cameras, but usually the other cameras go off about 8 p.m., but Ted's is on 24 hours a day. So thank you all for tuning in, and please join us on our next Behind the Scenes if you have not gone back to see Ted. And we'll be doing that at 1 o'clock. Thank you all, and we'll see you tomorrow.